Hi everyone, and welcome to the Career Coach post. Wait, I'm gonna do that again. Okay, I'm so sorry. I bet she's laughing now. Okay. Hi, and welcome to the Career Coach podcast, a show where we talk about people who have done some super cool degrees and have interesting academic paths. We have today Sonali Panda with us, who is basically a topper through her time in ICSC and in ISC. She then went on to do her BA in psychology from Ferguson College in Pune, and immediately after that, she went to do her master's in business administration MBA IIM Bangalore, where she currently is one of the youngest students. She has also been placed at Bain and Co. a whole year before she graduates. We are so happy to have you here, Sonali.
This is a student administered program. Our aim is to offer information from other students who have recently graduated. None of this information is to be taken as advice. Nobody in this video or in the team is a guidance or career counselor, nor are we experts in the fields which we have chosen. We do not intend to look down on any career or academic path and hope these stories will be taken in the spirit in which they were said. Our experiences are personal and cannot be universally applied. We hope this video is helpful to whoever watches it and it equips you with some relevant insights. Enjoy.
know, how was your journey from, from being a 10th topper in Mary's and 12th topper in Mary's to Ferguson College?
Right. So I wasn't exactly a topper per se, but I did have a decent enough ICSE and ISC percentage. The the main reason I actually took up psychology was because I did not want to do engineering. So I had taken science in 12th standard, and the
Oh,
only subject I actually enjoyed in 12th was English literature. So I had to convince my parents a little bit, and then I went ahead and I did a BA. I didn't take honors because I wasn't sure of my major. So I
hmm.
did BA, and then through my subjects that I studied at BA, the one that I liked the best was psychology. So I majored in that.
So as I come to understand of this is in the first year also, like till 12th also, you were not so sure about psychology. What
So
made
when
you?
I was right, so when I was choosing my subjects for my first year in BA, so you get an option. If you're not doing an honors, you can pick, I think, up to 6 subjects. At least in Ferguson, it was like that. So there were few subjects that I just decided to take out of interest based on readings and stuff. So in 12th standard, I used to read this news article, not really news, like journal called Psychology Today. So I really liked it. So I took psychology, sociology, I had English, economics, and a few other subjects. And after the first year of studying all of these subjects, I realized that psychology is something that I'm really interested in. So you get to pick your major in the second year, and that's when I chose psychology.
Oh, so your first year you're doing many subjects, and then from the second year you choose like which you want to really do your major in.
Right. You have a major and then you get an option of two minors. They are called general subjects. So I minored in English literature and economics.
Wow. So psychology, English literature, and economics.
Yeah.
Okay. And like before you, so in the first year itself, you made the decision, right, of majoring in psychology, or was that somewhere with you during 12th or
It
11th?
was, I think I'd say I had an interest or an inclination towards it, but I never thought that I could actually study this subject as my major. I thought of it as an option, but it became more clear after the first year, once I'd actually started studying it officially.
Okay. So apart from all the subjects that you studied, you really like psychology, and that's why you went ahead with it. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, so you said you were doing science in 12th and like to BA. How was that shift from, science to BA? Was that a
Mm.
drastic shift for
Yeah.
you?
So it was a drastic shift actually, because up until 10th standard I think the focus is equal on science and arts and all the subjects, but in 11th and 12th I was solely focused on physics, chemistry, computers, maths. So I was very quantitatively oriented, and it was not like I was bad at it, I was actually good at it. So it used to, I had this knack for numbers and things like that. So it was
Yeah.
quite a shift to get into something that was purely theoretical. So there are few aspects in psychology that you need to have some numerical sense for, but more than that it was a big shift in terms of giving exams, and even the way that you study stuff, it's very theoretical in arts. So that was a
Oh,
huge shift from science to arts.
okay. And was that shift difficult for you, or did you just crack it at the first go itself?
I think it was quite difficult. In Ferguson we have a semester pattern. So in the first semester, I remember struggling with the evaluation pattern. So they used to have some MCQ exams and some, qualitative exams. So at the MCQ exams, I was good at it because I was used to studying in that method, facts and data and things like that. But in the qualitative exams, I used to find that I couldn't really expand my answer beyond, like, I don't know, 150 words. And the limit used to be something like 500 words. So it took me a while to get used to answering papers and giving exams, but the course per se wasn't really that hard to catch on with. Like in arts, it's more common sense based, so it's easy to understand when you're studying it.
Yeah. See, I saw your, I saw how much you scored in 10th and 12th, and it's all above 90, and you've been such a sincere student, and you directly took arts. So was that like, were your parents like, what are you doing and stuff? Because my parents would have been like that.
Yeah, kind of. So actually, it's a kind of funny story. I had a deal with my parents that if I would clear the engineering exams, only then I had the choice of going ahead and doing what I want, because they didn't want me to feel like I was doing arts just because I wasn't able to do anything else. Because I think people have this perception,
Wow.
that if you don't get into if you don't get into science, then you do commerce. If you don't get into commerce, you get into arts.
Yeah.
But obviously, this perception is wrong. But people do have that, so they never wanted me to feel like that. So I did give the entrances for engineering. I gave IIT JEE and I gave CET as well, and I wouldn't say like I passed with flying colors, but I cleared both of the exams. So then I went ahead and I decided that okay, I'll do arts, because I was sure of it by then.
Wow. Wow. That's really cool. Yeah.
No commerce subjects involved in BA, so you won't find accounts or finance or anything of that sort.
Okay. And so you finished 3 years of psychology, and then you straight away went to IIM Bangalore. That's right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So how was that, shift from BA to studying for CAT? Is
Hmm.
that what you prepare for CAT? And then going to IIM Bangalore. How was that shift for you?
Right. So that was actually the decision to give CAT. I made this decision when I was in second year of BA, because I had to give the exam in the third year, in my end of the third year. Like December is usually when CAT, November, December is when CAT is held. So I had to start studying. I think I made the decision December of second year. So that, I think December 2017 was when I made the decision. And so it took me a while to actually study for CAT. So a lot of people are able to do it within 4 to 5 months, but I took a year to study for it. I opted for coaching classes. I went to Time Academy,
Wow.
and I studied. So in the beginning, in the Jan, Feb, March period, I didn't really attend that many classes. I was trying out a lot of mocks. So the way I study is by giving exams. So through the mocks, I was able to understand what I was doing right and wrong. And then I went ahead full-fledged with classes, etc. around June, July. And then I gave the
Okay.
exam.
So
Yeah,
you took like 6 months to, prepare for the mocks and everything, and then you went on to
right.
give the CAT. When was your CAT exam?
It was November 2018.
November 2018.
Yeah,
And you got, when did you start with the IIM Ahmedabad
right.
studies?
So that so the CAT is in December 2008. It was in December 2018. Then you get your CAT results and the the college shortlists around March, I'd say. Yeah, March 2019. No, actually it was earlier than that. It was around Feb 2019. And then you start going for interviews. So there are something like 20 IIMs and other
Wow.
affiliated colleges as well. So then you have interviews for all of the IIMs, and that goes on through March and April. And then you get your results by, I think, April, May. So by
Oh,
then I had already known whether I was in or not.
wow, that's really cool, yeah. And what did you do your major in?
So in IIM, for your MBA course, you don't have a major. It's
Oh,
just a general MBA. And then based on your electives, you have, like, it's not announced that you don't get an MBA in something. You just get an
acha.
MBA. But if you're really interested in, for example, finance, you can select finance courses.
In electives.
Yeah, in electives.
What did you choose?
Hmm. So in IIM, the pattern is such that the course is for 2 years and it's a trimester pattern. So overall 6 trimesters. In the first 2 trimesters, you have compulsory courses, and in the
First,
third onwards,
okay.
yeah, and then the third onwards, you have electives. So my electives are usually, I take it around strategy or marketing.
Yeah.
So these are the two subjects broadly that I'm interested in. And second year is starting, I think, next week. So yeah, my courses are strategy, marketing, and I've also taken a few operations courses. So that's around,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, wow, that's really cool. Yeah. And when did you get placed? So the placement start before the second year starts also.
Yeah, so it's a weird process. So what actually happens is you have this thing called summers, which is your summer internships.
Correct.
So the placement for your internships happens in October of your first year. So when you're in your first year, as soon as you enter, you start with your CV preparation, etc., and shortlist, etc., and the actual placement happens in October. Then you go ahead and you intern. April, May is your internship period, and if the company offers pre-placement offers, and if you perform as per the company's expectations, then they'll give you a pre-placement offer, which essentially means that you don't have to sit for your final placements at the end of 2 years. So once
Okay.
if you get a PPO, so you're exempted from placements if you accept the offer. That's how it
Okay.
works.
So did you've accepted the offer and you've been exempted from
Yeah,
placement,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
now you're placed in Bain and Co.
yeah. Strategy and planning for other companies. I mean, the client companies. That's what my major role will be.
Okay, and that will start from next year.
Yeah,
And you're still yet to give your second year of masters.
right. Yeah.
Okay. And so, let's go back a little to psychology again.
Hmm.
And I wanted to know about, how, so when you were doing psychology and when you were giving CAT,
Hmm.
like, how was that for you? Was it easy for you to give focus on your CAT because of your BA, or how was that experience for you?
Right. So the major problem that I faced was the entire CAT exam is very oriented towards engineers. So
Oh,
the sections that you have, there's a lot of weightage put on your quantitative ability and lesser weightage put on your qualitative or your English skills, etc. So there are three sections in CAT. There is quantitative ability, there is a logical reasoning and data interpretation, and then there is English, which is your
okay.
reading comprehension, etc. So for me, the reading comprehension and the grammar bit was a bit easy because I was anyway studying English as a as a minor, sorry. So that part was easy for me, but I found quantitative ability quite hard. So the level of maths that you require is not engineering level. It is just, I'd say, standard 10 or standard 11 level. There is no calculus or anything of that sort. It's actually a pretty simple in terms of concepts that you need to know. It's pretty basic.
Hmm.
But the problem is that you need to be fast. And that is something that I did not have because I was out of practice. I hadn't really done math as
Yeah.
such for 3 years of my BA. So I found it very difficult to get back into that, game of solving fast and eliminating options and all of that. And engineers are like damn good at that. That was a problem that I faced. But in terms of how my BA helped me give CAT, I'd say that this is, this is not exactly a data thing, but it's like when you give the exam and you clear it, you get an edge if you're a diversity student. Now, say you're an engineer, then you need to get 99 percentile plus. Otherwise, you will not get a call if you're a general category engineer.
Hmm.
But if you're say if you're a commerce student, or if you're like I was a psychology student, you wouldn't find that many students giving CAT. And IIMs are trying to move away from being completely engineer oriented and getting in, being more inclusive. So the soft cutoff for me was lower than it would be for an engineer.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, it's not explicitly stated, but you can make out by the shortlist and things like that. So I got a 98.4 percentile in CAT, and I got calls from all of the IIMs except for IIM Calcutta because they have some quantitative requirement. But apart from that, I got a call from all of the IIMs. But an engineer who would have got 98.4 would not have got a call from all the IIMs. But I think that the major reason why they do this, why they lower the cutoff for students like me, is because we don't have a quantitative background and we're giving the same exam. So
Hmm. Correct, correct, correct.
that's the main reason. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So also I want to know, like, what was the link between for you from psychology to business? What's the link between that, and how are you figuring out things over there?
Right. So link, I'd say, so the thing is that in psychology, you're not learning concepts directly that can be applied to your MBA apart from the subject of HR management. So if you take an elective in HR management, or we had a compulsory subject called managing people and performance in organizations. Now for these subjects, it's very easy for me because I've studied these things before and you're studying the same aspects. So it's called industrial psychology, and that you do in your BA as well as in MBA. So that is the one subject that I think I had an overlap between my psychology and business. But apart from that, nothing else is directly overlapping. Most of the courses that we study in business, like finance and data science and things like that, they have nothing in common with psychology. But there are like a lot of soft skills that you will learn, which will help you in your job that you get post your business degree, not essentially your academic skills.
Okay.
In the first 2 terms, we had a compulsory subject called decision sciences, which was basically statistics. But it was very, and I also had an issue with microeconomics. So these were the 2 subjects that I had a problem with. And reason being is that they were very heavily quantitatively oriented, and it was more of, there was calculus involved, and like not very difficult calculus, but it was involved. And being out of touch for so long, it becomes difficult to understand things immediately. And the professors come with this notion that students already have this base, so
Yeah.
we are just building upon that, and I did not have that base, so I struggled in those subjects, like seriously struggled in those subjects.
Wow.
But then I think over time, I mean, this is just the first 2 terms. Over time you get a hang of it. You have to just put in a lot of extra effort, and the people around you are really helpful. So that is one good thing, like you learn from your friends and things like that. But yeah, I struggled in a few quantitative subjects. The rest of them, like finance, etc., they start from scratch, because even engineers don't, not a lot of them have a background in finance and
Yeah.
accounting and things like that. So that they start from scratch. But yeah, like some things, economics and calculus and things like that, I did face a difficulty.
Wow. Okay. And so now, like you have been placed with, you've been in IIM for a year now. What are your other psychology friends up to right now?
Right. So I think they're all doing different things. So some of them, like the most basic thing to do after a BA psychology is to do an MA psychology. Now there are few of them who are doing MA clinical psychology, MA cognitive psychology, social psychology, counseling psychology. So there are multiple options in which you can do a master's. So most of my friends are doing that. I'd say around 70% of them. Some of them are also pursuing research based courses. So there are some 1-year diploma courses that you can take in research in psychology specifically. There are people who are doing that. Then there are also people also doing MBA marketing is one option. MBA HR is another option. So yeah,
Okay.
these are
So
the
like post psychology in BA also, you're saying there are many options in the business field if you want
yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, HR is the most obvious opportunity after in the business field after psychology.
Okay. And how many if I wanted to do an MA in psychology, how many different choices do I have? Like you said, cognitive psychology, clinical psychology. How many different choices do I have if I'm a psychology student?
Right. So I think there are, I'd say around 6 to 7 options you would have in India. So clinical psychology is the main one, which is essentially dealing with disorders and actual mental issues. That is clinical. Then there is counseling psychology, which is not directly related to mental issues, but mental health and things like that, relationships, like counseling, etc. Then there is social psychology, which is more research oriented. There is cognitive psychology, which involves neuroscience as well. There is criminal psychology, but that's not very well explored in India yet. I'm not sure. There might be a few colleges, but not really sure about that. And yeah, then there is industrial psychology, which is HR management. So there are a couple of fields. There are around 6 or 7, I'd say.
That's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
And why didn't you why didn't you feel like doing psychology, and why did you want to explore the business world more?
Yeah. So the thing is that BA psychology by nature is it's not a, what do you call it, not an employable course that you have done. So immediately after BA, we don't have placements as such. So I was more worried about not getting a job. It wasn't for, my love for business or anything of that sort. It was just, I wanted to be employable, which is why I thought I'd do an MBA. And the more I get into MBA, the more I realize that I really enjoy psychology. So
Oh,
even post my MBA and maybe post working, I think that if I ever decide to, get into PhD or something in the academic field, it will definitely be in the field of psychology. But right now, I just want to get some experience, get my hands dirty in the real world. I don't want to keep studying.
Okay.